What's going on, family? It's your boy Elder Barber back with another tutorial. Today, I'm gonna get started off with a mohawk. Not the traditional mohawk, that bold line with the hard lines in it, but something with a nice blend to it. So what I do is of course, you always gotta start with picking it out. Get your canvas on point. Then you attack it with your first guideline. I went in with my Andes Slimline Pros. As you see, I started with my regular Andes, the corded ones, and they were biting a little bit, so I need to make sure that I add some oil to those and fine tune them. Your tools being on point makes all the difference. But like you see, I'm going in with the ball line, my first ball line, creating the shape that I want this whole cut to take on. That first guideline is that important, It creates the blend throughout the whole thing. So as you see, I take my 5-star shavers, clean out that area, give that bald line one more transition. It just adds on an extra effect to it when you make sure that bald area is skin bald. So as you see, I go on with my seniors. I create my second guideline. My seniors are fully open, so I set in that first guideline with my seniors fully open. Then you see me taking out that line, that first guideline that I put in with my Andes Slimline Pros. You always take out lines with the same machine you used to put it in, if that makes any sense to you. So as you see, I'm halfway closing it, trying to take out that line, the rest of that first guideline. And you just take your time, you get into a groove, and once you get into that groove, it seems like it just comes second nature. But it's all about repetition. Practice makes perfect with anything you do. Anything you want to be great at, just give it time. Trust the journey, trust the process. You always just gotta keep it pushing, keep it moving. Good things happen when you keep activity, when you keep movement. So I grabbed my 5-star magic clips. And the reason I use I interchange between my 5-star magic clips and my seniors is because I seem to get a lot closer with my magic clips. The zero gapping of my magic clips, I just prefer that. So whenever I have any kind of bulk that I'm trying to remove, I go in with those. So here I have my premium clips on my magic clips, the one guard, all the way closed. So I'm creating that next transition. I'm gonna put in that line with the one guard, then follow behind it with a half guard to clean all of that out. So that just takes you just one notch below the one guard being closed. It's almost like you start right at where the level that you want to go to next. So you take your half guard. As you see, you go ahead and knock that second guideline out. This was a house call. One of my close friends, Anthony, great dude. He always comes with a lot of energy, brings the full family. So I want to give a shout out to him. As you see, I always make sure I take the comb and lay the hairs back down. Sometimes you can make the mistake of getting too far into your groove and forgetting to lay the hairs back down after each stroke of your clippers. So you want to make sure that every time you do too many strokes with your clippers, you come behind that with a brush or a comb, whatever your preference may be. So I'm going in, edging up my client, making sure that I'm giving sharp lines, that lineup can make or break a fade. The blend is everything, but the lines that you put on it put everything in symmetry. As you can see, this is what we started off with. Switching over to the other side, same exact steps. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all enjoy this beat for a while. Try to get into that, enjoy the vibe. Hopefully the steps are soothing to watch. Enjoy. I'll be back with you in a second. Now make sure y'all grab the ears and move the ears around. The worst thing you can possibly do is, pinch that skin behind that ear. That area could be very, very tricky. So I wanted to be sure that I reminded everybody who's watching, tuning in right now, to be sure to move that ear out of the way. And so you guarantee comfort for your client. Comfort is everything. The haircuts that we're giving out, they're all our preference of the way that these cuts are supposed to come out. We use the same mechanics to come up with different cuts, but everybody has their different style, their different take on these cuts. But what it really comes down to is the experience that you give your client. They should be at peace. They don't want to hear your problems and things that are going to weigh them down for that day. They want to come in and be improved, to be, mastered. That's what the mastered crown is all about. Is for everyone to have a place that they come to where their mind is cleared and they're enhanced. They feel that much more enhanced when they get up out of your chair and they walk away a better person, feeling better. You are how you feel, and you want to make sure that your clients feel great, like $1 million. So on this area right here, it can be tricky because you're starting to go into the area of the mohawk or the frohawk, however you want to name it. But as you get into that bulk of the mohawk, you gotta be careful. The closer that you get to that area, it's actually smart to take like a 1.5 guard or 2 guard, depending on the length of the mohawk, and you want to feather that hair out. Like, make sure that the clippers are flowing off of the head. So you want to scoop away instead of digging in that area, because you can create a harsh line. So now we're doing a little freehanding, and we're just gonna knock off all of those loose hairs. Take your time right here. This is a process that it takes patience, and it's all technique. You want to make sure that you're laying the surface of your clipper on the surface of the afro, flat top, mohawk, any of the cuts that you have to shape into the shape that you want it to be, or the desired shape or length. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that as you're moving around the head, you're rotating with the shape of that you're trying to take on. Right here, we're giving them a sharp edge up, being sure not to dig our hands in the clean work that we just did on the Frohawk, mohawk. Just making sure that we're double checking, triple checking angles, making sure our lines are nice and crispy. Crispy, sharp lines make all the difference. When you hand your client that mirror, the first thing they see is the symmetry of their head. The first thing they see are the angles. They can't see that fade when you first give them that mirror. So you want to make sure that those fundamentals are prioritized. As you see, my guy is starting to feel himself. He can almost feel the transformation coming in. Ready to get up out of this chair and go show the world. Getting it in with the razor work. Just touching up all of those lines that are already created with my Slimline Pros. So you tap with those, with your liners or your trimmers. You don't ever want to irritate that skin, creating redness of the skin, bumps, things of that nature. Keep that skin healthy and keep that hair healthy. That's the job of being sanitary as you're a barber. That's what people want. So here you guys go. Finishing cut. Get in that comment section. Subscribe.